Good morning. I'm Sebastian. I'm working in Clarus Capital, and I was asked on Friday if I would say, is that working? Some words in regard to compliance. So here are my thoughts. It's a talk topic. It's connected to many emotions, and most compliance professionals, as I am, were in their career sometimes confronted with sentences like, you are blocking business, you are not business oriented, you are not helping me to earn money, and you are paid by me. It's all true, and I actually understand most of the sentences by now. But I think the problem is not the misunderstanding of compliance and front and the fights. The problem mostly with compliance is mismanagement, unclear regulations, and missing knowledge. Especially when the financial crisis started, there was a huge raise in the number of compliance officers. Although there was until not far long ago, there was no real education for compliance. I was studying law at the University of Zurich, and during my 5 years of law, I had 4 hours on compliance. Today, at least some of the universities offer certificates, diplomas, but I mean, it's all very basic. So how to get all these compliance officers? Imagine when I was working in Credit Suisse, we had in our building about 800 compliance officers. That was in 2009. Beginning of the 2000s, there were a couple of dozens. So a lot of people without education or without proper education. What the banks did, they were just getting more and more people because they were spending money, so it looked like they were taking care of compliance. And we know how this ended. I call this bad compliance. It was huge, it was costly, and there was no sufficient outcome, as we know. But what would be good compliance? Good compliance, in my opinion, is lean, clear, and supportive. Proper compliance organization consists not only of technical knowledge, but also of holistic knowledge. In the most big banks, compliance is split in very many different departments. You have a department for AML, for KYC, for transaction monitoring, for cross-border. But the people have no overview over the whole relation. I personally, in my job in a small company, like that I know every client from scratch. I know his KYC by heart. I know the transaction he's doing, so I have to ask much less questions. Because when I see regular transactions, I know, oh, he has a daughter which is studying in London, so I know where it comes from that he's spending money there. That is missing in big banks. But back, KYC is, in my opinion, the most important part of compliance because that is where everything starts. If you have a good, proper, comprehensive KYC, you understand the client, you understand his needs. But also compliance understands who probably doesn't know the client, as you did, but we can get an understanding of what he is and what he's doing. That helps with suitability, that helps with transaction monitoring. Sorry. But for a good compliance, a clear regulation is as well needed. Because only if I know to which rules I have to stick, I can stick to them. To make you understand why a clear regulation is important, I would tell you, you'll probably know cross-border manuals. Cross-border manuals in big banks are produced in a very special way. Basically what they do is they send out to big law firms a questionnaire in a certain country, say, what's your opinion on these questions? Every of these law firms sends the questionnaire back with total different answers because there is no clear regulation. And the bank just assess, okay, I'll take this answer from this law firm, this answer from this law firm, and make a mixture of what I think could be suitable for this country. I mean, problems are programmed in advance. The new Swiss financial market regulation, although often referred to with fear, does a step in the right direction, in my opinion, because it gives us clear guidelines we can stick to. And we know exactly what we are allowed to do and what we are not allowed to do. And we can be sure that if we act in a way as it is written in the law, we will not have issues. Now, having all the technical knowledge and clear understanding of regulatory environment for a good compliance, we need to go one step ahead and implement all of this. Considering the amount of information and considering what possibilities we technologically have today, we should actually connect that. Thanks to technological advantages, we can process and scan information faster, be it monitoring of certain kind of transactions, of the suitability of guidelines, of portfolios, or changes in client circumstances. I'm a big fan of KYC, so technology helps us to actually go enter client contact notes very quickly, update KYCs, and we have the whole holistic overview we need to work with the client. And new technology also gives us the possibility to inform the client very quickly about everything. So the client is also happier as well because he knows what is actually happening in the background with his money. Last but not least, the technological setup can support in monitoring and upholding compliance and present it to third parties. I was just recently talking to auditors, and they also start to work more and more with electronic sharing of information. So if we have a nice tool where we can store all the relevant information needed for an auditor, we can just send it to him. He has a very clean and quick overview, and he needs less time to actually audit you. So you save money.